Yo, welcome back to another episode of Turn the Hemmed Up. I'm your boy, LP82, along with my co-host,
Young Tech, aka Wordplay.
where we gather every podcast to talk about what's going on in the world, especially in hip-hop. Where we talk about real facts and everybody's truth.
I mean, you gotta have that confidence to where it's on you, you know, you can't lack up. I got too much passion to quit, man. I gotta keep going all
Let's
day.
lock it in. Y'all ready?
Podcast. Turn the hem up. Turn the hem up. Podcast. Turn the hem up. Turn the
And one of the things we had a big verdict come out today. We're speaking about deaths. We had the George Floyd. Shout out to the Floyd family.
Yes, sir.
But they had the verdict come in with the police officer that kneeled on him for a matter. I can't believe. I can't
Derek
remember.
Chauvin or something?
Yeah, Derek Chauvin. I can't remember how many minutes it was, but that was a verdict that just came out today, and there was a lot of emotion, a lot of people that was happy, but a lot of people that was sad about it as well, because you can't bring George Floyd back. So, first, how do we feel about that? How do we feel about the verdict and the whole thing?
Well, me personally, like, it's one of those type of things is like, sorry, people, like, not to say that, I'm happy that the verdict came out because, that he killed the man, regardless of what it was. A man was killed that day, regardless, right? But it's like, think about this. Everybody's going crazy. I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple of people protesting everything over people doing their job. Not the police, the damn justice system. That should have been a no-brainer. It shouldn't be this impactful. This is like
You gotta really go through this much just to get justice.
yeah, like this is like Obama being elected president again. Like it's sad to say that something like this has to go to this extent for justice to be brought forth. That's the crazy part about it. But for the most part, though, I'm happy that he did. He did get what he deserved, and I hope the other people that were involved get what they deserve. Watching that video, I like being a kid, right? Everybody had that moment where their big brother or big cousin held them down, right? And they'll hold you down, knowing they're gonna let you up eventually. But you tell them you can't breathe, and they eventually get up. Just imagine somebody holding you down, and you telling them you can't breathe, and they don't give a fuck. That alone is like I couldn't imagine that. I'm claustrophobic as it is. I don't even like to be in a small room like that.
Yeah, you could tell he meant that intentionally to do that, And I'm really glad that, justice happened from that, you know what I'm saying? And I hope it changes, you know what I'm saying, from here. I hope, police think twice before they do something like that, you know what I'm saying? And but this has been going on for years and years.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully this makes a change, but we've been seeing this forever. And I don't think I've ever actually seen justice like this, though, right? Have you ever seen a police really, from all the killing that was going on, with black males, like, have you ever seen, like,
That one comes to mind, like a big case.
Yeah.
like a case to where a police got sentenced and doing life?
I'm pretty I don't remember. So like for people for watching this, I don't remember. But I would say that in this way, like with this type of impact, this is the first time I've ever seen something like this.
It's crazy because it's been going on for years, and it's the first time it ever happened.
I don't know if it's the first time, but first time we just could remember.
Yeah, that we can
I'm
remember.
sure it's happened before where justice was served, but
So, I'm sorry.
I guess just to go off that question, do you believe that police would think twice? Like, I know you said you kind of hope, but do you guys truly believe they're going to think twice?
No.
I will hope so, but I don't think so because it's been going on for years and years, and nothing has really changed. If they really want something to happen to you, they gonna do something to you. You know what I'm saying? And nothing has stopped any police from doing it if they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I've never seen any changes really. You know what I'm saying? And they got body cams on them and they still doing it. So, what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? You got a body cam on you and you still doing the same thing. So I don't think it's really going to change anything, but it is good to have justice for it. And people need to be held accountable.
I think the system is just flawed. I don't know. I don't think every police officer is bad. I don't think
Yeah.
everybody's bad, so to generalize it, I wouldn't say that. But I think the system just needs to be, they need to do something else. Like the system is just messed up.
Right.
The whole blue lives matter is just. But it's some out there that's doing their job, and a lot of good cops spoke out during this whole ordeal with Derek Chauvin and all the other stuff that's going on with Breonna Taylor and all the other people. So we got to revamp the system.
Exactly. Like to kind of touch on that, like as far as like police, like you say, I do agree there are some good police out there in the world, right? You know, but it's like we also got to look at it too. These people are being hired or like whatever to be police. They're regular human beings, right? So they got you know, perspectives on certain races, just like we have perspectives and, you know, ideologies, whether it's good or bad. You know, they think just like we think. The only difference is they have a badge. So if you feel like if a person feels a certain kind of way about another race, he's going to show it with a badge, you know, and it's crazy to think that if you think all police are like that. No, they're not robots. They're human beings, right? So everybody has their own mindset on how they view things and how they do things, and you know, certain people that they tend to look out for more than others and stuff like that. So I'm not saying all this to say that, you know, that we should look at them any different, but just to say that there are some police that do become, you know, there are some people that do become police with the right mindset. They really want to make, you know, their city a better place, you know. And like some people do deserve to get locked up just because of their actions. Like, you know, we got kids. We don't want any and everybody running around doing what they want just because of the police is fucked up. Like, there's some people that do need to be locked up, but for the most part, you know, just we got to keep that in mind. Like there's some people that right now getting hired as a police officer is racist as fuck.
And I believe there is some racist police. I think there's police that feel like they're more superior. You know what I'm saying? So they do things and they lash out on people just to show you that they're more superior than you. You know, but at the same token, there's good police too, where, you know, it might be a situation where a black male is resisting. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind too. You know, you can't really be too resistant and lashing out on police and all of that, or doing things that's gonna give them a reason to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to think about that too. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as black males, because it's already tension towards the situation anyway. You don't want to give them a reason to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, we tend to do that too sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, speak out of turn, lash out and all that. Now, I understand certain situations where that's caused, you know what I'm saying? But not every situation is caused like that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I would try to avoid it as much as possible as a black man dealing with those types of situations.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Just to touch on this, these are the wise words of Derek Chauvin's lawyer. And this I'm getting from mixtape Instagram account. And it says, Derek Chauvin's lawyer. This is his reason why he thinks Floyd died. He says space aliens flew in, inhabited his body, and caused his death. That's his lawyer.
Oh man, is that real news?
Is that real?
Hey, I'll put it like this. Yo, I don't
sound like some.
No, I don't know about that.
Hey, no, but it probably was like they probably took it out of context. It's probably a situation. If all we know, a space alien could have came in and went in his body. You know,
but like, who's really gonna believe that?
But
You know
the thing about it is, bro, when you're a lawyer, right, and you taking a high profile case like that, and you're like you say, you have a defendant, and they're gonna say whatever they can. Right now, that lawyer just did that shit just to get the spotlight. Yeah.
From watching it, because I was keeping track of the case just the past couple of days, I thought his defense was pretty much the oxygen from the bottom of the car. That's how he really died. I know that for sure was one of his arguments.
You got to call a spade, man. He stepped on his neck, man.
The very first one was the drugs. They said he had like a heart attack because he was doing drugs right before they
Yeah.
And the second one was while he was underneath the car, the fumes from the car while it was on, he was inhaling them for 2 hours.
Okay, but then that still goes back to the officer's fault. You put him in that position to where you could have just put him in the car.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
he's trying to take away from the fact that he didn't die with the knee. So you can't really say the intent was to kill him because he didn't. It was the car, but it didn't. So that was the argument I heard him make on TV, and it was just like he wouldn't be next to the fumes.
But they're gonna say anything they can to justify the fact that the guy he put his leg on him. You know what I'm saying, and was suffocating him. And people's always gonna come with some other side things. This is the reason why. Just like the Nipsey situation. Oh, it didn't happen like that. It was a conspiracy. The government did it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's going to have their different, opinions on what they feel like. That's just in general. But you can't the fact is he was stepping on it. It ain't no other way it could happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You was leaning on his neck. He couldn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? And that situation happened. And you did that intentionally. So, and we getting justice for that.
So, like, surrounding this whole George Floyd thing, I guess the Las Vegas Raiders tweeted out something. They tweeted out, "I can't breathe," for today's date, which is the day that for 2021 that the conviction was given out. So they're catching a lot of backlash for that.
You said who's catching?
The Raiders for saying "I can't breathe." So pretty much saying that they're with the George Floyd verdict, right?
Is that the Raiders or is that
Las Vegas Raiders? The Raiders, the team.
Nah, somebody had to make that. Man.
No,
Couldn't be my Raiders, man.
No. Well, see, the Raiders do make a lot of bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? but what do you guys feel about major, like teams and companies and stuff like that, kind of like putting their 2 cents in or stuff like that when it comes to stuff like that?
Stay out of it. Stay out of it. If it ain't your situation, stay out of it. That's how I look at it.
Do we really look at it like that, though?
I mean, everybody gonna put their 2 cents in, but I think if you just gotta understand whatever you put out, you gotta expect backlash from it if you putting it out there.
Especially in today's world.
Like if you put anything out there, you can't get mad if you get backlash from it. You put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So you can do whatever you want. It's a free country, but you gotta accept the consequences behind it.
But in this particular case, they're getting flack because they said I can't breathe on a 420. Like I can't breathe with like the weed smoke.
I don't even. You know what? And I didn't look at it like that. So that can be one of those things. Like, are you guys making fun of it, or you guys think it's a joke? Because I think a lot of times us as especially African Americans, we're very, 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 very sensitive when it comes to who's actually speaking up for the community, what have you, whatever, right? We kind of hone in on whether it's past exchanges with a person, whether it's what the company stands for, stuff like that. Because right now, especially with the Raiders doing that, it's kind of like, where were you guys at when all this other stuff was going down? Were you guys contributing? Were you guys helping out? If they were there from every step of the way, outside of just saying they're giving young black men an opportunity to become millionaires, which is in their benefit, what else have you done for the community?
I think
you get what I'm saying? I think that's a big part of it. Like if you were helping out the family with that type of stuff, with the funeral cost, whatever the case may be, paying for the legal defense, then by all means you're invested in it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just saying it, just all right, I can't breathe 420, then okay, wait, 420 drugs.
And I think that's where the backlash.
You get what I'm saying?
I think that's where the backlash comes from, is because they trying to twine the two. When this is such a serious subject with this whole George Floyd thing, and then you putting I can't breathe 420, you know what I'm saying? You kind of intertwining the two. I don't think that looks right in certain people's eyes. I don't think they look like you kind of making fun of it. You know what I'm saying?
I would say I don't know enough about the tweet, but if it is, I don't think they were trying to make fun of 420. But I think if they're catching flack because of 420, I would also say it might be they're catching flack because of Colin Kaepernick. You can't post you're supporting the verdict and you want to even give this man a job who talked about the same thing that's going on. So exactly. Maybe that's another point that people are coming from, but I'm not too sure what they're saying about it.
But I, like you said, that it's so many valid reasons why I think a lot of people will say what they say and feel how they feel. It happens too often. It's too many major companies and corporations that look past it because, like you say, it doesn't initially involve with their bottom line. The only time it becomes something is when they can benefit from it. So I think that's a big problem. Like I think, and like you said, a lot of these companies, especially a lot of these companies, be having surrounding areas where their main factories are, or what have you, whatever, and they don't even give good wages. Like if you live, like, saying, you got to think back in the day, a lot of people moved up from the South to Detroit and Chicago due to the industries. And then those industries, once those industries left and went overseas, like, a lot of these communities became what we call ghettos, or what we would call, bad neighborhoods, And that's because these major corporations, they tend to suck the life out of these communities and then don't want to give back. And I think that's a big problem for a lot of people.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that concludes this episode of Turning Him Up. This was a very insightful and very emotional one. I want to give a shout out to the Floyd family. I would also want to give a shout out to all the people that that had family members lost due to police brutality. Like I said, it's a very situation, and it needs to be eradicated. Like you said, the justice system. They need to do away with a lot of things. I understand things are set forth to protect people, but sometimes those people that are being protected don't need to be protected. So, this was a good podcast. Very insightful. Thank you, Gene, from behind the scene.
Yes, sir.
I like that name. That should be on like a shirt or some shit like that. Gene from behind the scene. And of course, my boy,
Young Tech, aka Wordplay.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. And we are out.